More than 80,000 Israeli protesters rallied in Tel Aviv on Saturday against Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's judicial reform plans, with organisers accusing him of undermining democratic rule weeks after his re-election. The reforms would make it easier for the parliament to overturn Supreme Court rulings, among other things. Protesters described Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's proposed changes as an attack on democratic rule. It follows the installment of the most religious and hardline government in Israeli history. Rallies were also held outside the Prime Minister's residence in Jerusalem and in the northern city of Haifa. These protests present an early challenge to Netanyahu and his ultra-nationalist National Security Minister Itamar Ben-Gvir, who had ordered police to take tough action if protesters block roads or display Palestinian flags. Israeli media citing police said that the crowd at Tel Aviv's Habima Square swelled to at least 80,000 people despite cool, rainy weather. Protesters, many covered by umbrellas, held Israeli flags and signs saying "criminal government," "the end of democracy," and other slogans. Certain footages on social media showed a small number of Palestinian flags on display in defiance of Ben-Gvir's calls. According to the critics, the legal reforms by Netanyahu would cripple judicial independence, foster corruption, set back minority rights, and deprive Israel's court system of credibility. Among those opposed are Israel's Supreme Court Chief Justice Esther Hayat and the country's Attorney General. These are the largest demonstrations since Mr. Netanyahu's new coalition government was sworn in December. Opposition parties had called on Israelis to join the rallies to save democracy and in protest at the planned judicial overhaul. Under the plans announced by Justice Minister Yariv Levin early this month, a simple majority in the Knesset, Israel's parliament, would have the power to effectively annul Supreme Court rulings. This could enable the government of the day to pass legislation without the fear of it being struck down. Critics fear that the new government could use this to scrap Mr. Netanyahu's ongoing criminal trial, although the government has not said it would do that. Mr. Netanyahu is being tried on charges of bribery, fraud, and breach of trust, something he strongly denies. The legal changes could help Netanyahu evade conviction for the corruption or even make his trial disappear entirely. Since being indicted in 2019, Netanyahu has said that the justice system is biased against him. The new government has also announced intentions to pursue a policy of settlement expansion in the occupied West Bank and to carry out social reforms that have worried members and supporters of the LGBTQ community.